Humans were not born with claws or thick fur to withstand the elements. Biologically, we're among the most vulnerable creatures on the planet, lacking the natural defenses that allow other animals to survive in isolation. Psychologist Alfred Adler argued that because of this inherent weakness, attempting to face life's problems alone leads to failure. In a harsh natural environment, total isolation is a path towards extinction. To survive, we have to forge social ties that compensate for our limitations.
Over the next 5 minutes, we are going to use Adler's framework to map out a highly specific plan for your own survival and cooperation. I want you to take a moment right now to grab a pen and a piece of paper. Bring to mind one complex challenge you are currently facing at work. Perhaps you are trying to finalize a dense contract clause or trying to organize a massive phase-based project plan. Then, think of one central relationship in your personal life. We are doing this because history proves that human progress is driven by companionship. Forging these ties isn't just a choice, it is the exact mechanism that ensures our continued survival.
At the top of your page, write your primary objective. Goal: become a good colleague and partner. This goal stems from Adler's observation that our concepts of success and meaning are tied to how we engage with others. We measure a person's value by their ability to contribute to the group. While an individual might struggle against an obstacle, a group can organize. Early civilizations used collective power to build cities no single person could conceive. To ensure this continued, they created rituals prioritizing the community over the individual. This is why Adler noted that the highest praise a society bestows is not for solitary genius, but for being a good partner. Because our welfare depends on this communal coexistence, finding your place within the group is the most critical human endeavor. Step by step, let's apply this to your workplace. In a new section titled Work, write down the specific challenge you identified earlier. Often, we fall into the trap of believing that hoarding tasks and working in isolation makes us more valuable. Adler argues this is actually where failure begins. He points to the division of labor as the primary safeguard of human welfare. It is the tool that allows us to organize diverse talents to solve problems that are too large for one person to handle.
Let's pause. Look at the challenge you wrote down. You're likely micromanaging a massive project right now, convinced that if you step back, it all collapses. It's exhausting. We disguise our fear of being replaced as a strong work ethic. But true power isn't carrying the entire load, it's orchestrating the talent around you. Stop being the bottleneck.
Next to your challenge, list 3 colleagues who have skills or perspectives that you lack. Now break that large challenge into 3 smaller components. Draw lines connecting each specific task to the colleague whose talent is best suited to manage it. You have successfully applied this principle when you are no longer the single bottleneck for the project's progress. By learning to cooperate here, you are mastering the social problem that makes work possible. Now move to the love and marriage section. Adler viewed a successful marriage as the most intimate expression of human cooperation. Write down the name of your partner or the key relationship you brought to mind earlier. A common mistake is viewing this partnership solely as a means for personal happiness. In Adler's view, it is a partnership built for the broader welfare of humanity. This requires a high degree of social interest, specifically, a commitment to care for your partner's happiness with the same intensity you bring to your own. Write down one specific action you will take today to prioritize your partner's needs over your own personal convenience. The metric for success here is simple. The action must serve the partnership as a whole, rather than a personal desire. True love requires us to abandon isolation to secure the foundation of the relationship.
Look at the name you wrote down. We often treat relationships like a ledger, keeping score because we're secretly terrified of losing our independence. But Adler proves that when you champion their happiness without demanding a return, you don't lose autonomy. You build the only space where it's safe to be flawed.
Now have a page that maps out how to divide workplace labor and how to prioritize your most important relationship today. Adler warns that those who refuse to cooperate adopt a purely personal meaning of life. By focusing only on themselves, they leave themselves at the mercy of the natural environment we discussed at the start. This rejection of the social task is what Adler observed in criminals, addicts, and others who fail at life. Without the ability to cooperate, they cannot find a place within the human community and inevitably struggle to survive its challenges. Anyone who attempts to secure a purely individualized path to success will vanish without a trace. Isolation is the precursor to extinction. Take your workplace challenge to your team today. Start the division of labor and use these social connections as the base for everything you build next.
But what happens when an individual's psychological framework collapses completely under this pressure? That is the dangerous mechanism of the superiority complex. Click right here to look directly at the data.